trying to think of who Cincinnati.
All right, everybody, we are back. Weekdays with Josh and Cole, and I am TannerFreeze. You are watching now the second and third rounds of our NFL.
Hold on. We'll get going. Hold on.
Lead up.
How's that?
What's up?
I think Cole's frozen.
Cole has frozen, but we are going to push forward. And with the 33rd pick, the first pick in the second round, Josh, you are on the clock as the Cincinnati Bengals. Cole, if you can hear us, you are frozen. We are recording, and I hope you can get that sorted out by the time you are on the clock after this pick.
All right. So, look, we know – hey, Cole's back.
There he is. He's back.
Awesome. Okay. So, Cole, I haven't made the choice yet, but look, this one might be a little overlooked, but the Bengals have Joe Mixon, and he's a solid running back, but I think they need more of a tandem. I don't even know who their secondary running back is. So I think if they do not take an O-lineman here, they're going to take DeAndre Swift, running back from Georgia.
Ooh. That's your pick?
That's my pick.
That's a solid pick. I can see that because you want to take the best player available at that point. Offensive linemen are aplenty in the second and third rounds. The Bengals, if there's somebody that they absolutely love, then yeah, they'll trade up and grab somebody at that point. But I'd say that's a solid pick for sure.
Yeah.
I'd say it's an interesting pick because, you have Joe Mixon, right? And he's serviceable back there. And with the Bengals, let's be honest, you can't go wrong. Every player you draft, you can improve on. But I think you can tackle other spots there. Regardless, that's a solid one for the Cincinnati Bengals to help that offense and Joe Burrow. Give them something. It gives them some excitement and it gives them versatility in that offense.
Absolutely.
Cole, pick 34 here. You are the Colts.
This is – I'm going to follow my heart, and that's not saying much because as a Jaguars fan, obviously I don't really like the Colts. With that said, though, they need quarterback help, gentlemen, and they do have a rather decent quarterback to help carry them a year, maybe two, but it's a perfect time to start breeding new life in Indianapolis. It's not going to be Andrew Luck level, especially after a hype of a first-round pick, and first-round pick after first-round pick, by the way, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
So, second pick, though, in the second round, I think Indianapolis is going to be just as happy with this. I think the Colts would go ahead and take Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State. It just makes sense there. All the other players, there's plenty of later in the draft. There's offensive tackles. There isn't even a receiver worth taking early second round. Edge rushers, unless you really want to reach on Zach Bond from Wisconsin. But the Colts also pick later at pick 44, only 10 picks away. It's something they can easily add to. It adds depth.
Funny you say that because now for me, I'm drafting for the Lions at 35 with Matt Patricia as my defensive coordinator. So basically, I'm drafting, for my mind, guys that are like Patriot-esque. Zach Bond is Patriot-esque to me. So I think I'm going to end up taking Zach Bond here. He's versatile. He can play all over in the front seven if you want him to. I think that he's a Matt Patricia-type player in that defensive rebuild right there. And pairing him with Okudah, good first two rounds.
And that instantly beefs up your defense as well, right? I mean, that probably the best – well, not the best defense.
Well, you're Matt Patricia, and
solidifies
you're not trying to go through 100 pencils a season, chewing down on those some stress. You need some defensive help.
Can I ask one quick question real fast? He has a pencil in his ear every game. His sheet is laminated. A pencil never works on a laminated sheet. I've never understood that.
Superstition?
It has to be because you can't use a pencil on a laminated sheet.
Maybe he only has one pencil. Maybe it's the same pencil every game.
It just doesn't work. I've always noticed that. I'm like, what are you doing, bud? Moving on though, New York Giants. This is going to be interesting. To be honest, I do think they need a little bit of help on defense. So I was looking at a couple defensive backs. But then also I noticed last year when Saquon went out, so I started looking at a little bit to see if there was any kind of maybe a good backup running back in his freshman year. The one I see is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's from LSU. He could be a solid backup for Saquon. Look, Saquon got injured last year and missed several weeks. And I think that really, really, really hurt just the offensive click as a whole. I think when you're running the ball through Saquon on the offense, look, Daniel Jones was he was a rookie. He needed help. He needed a solid run game, and he didn't get that once Saquon was out. And I'm kind of just talking myself into getting a running back right now, obviously, which I don't know if they would do, because there's still some top cornerbacks that you might want to take a look at. You got A.J. Terrell along with Jeff Gladney from Clemson and TCU, who are at the top of the line right now. And I think
and you need weapons if you're Daniel Jones.
I totally agree with that, because they've lost a couple receivers as well. So, I think I'm still going to talk myself into taking a running back in this position, because there are still several receivers that I could take a look at. I'm looking at Michael Pittman Jr. still available, along with T. Higgins from Clemson. I'm going to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And I think that'll be a solid backup in case Saquon can't carry the load for the rest of the season.
Going running back with your 2 picks here to start off the second round. I like it. Cole, coming around to you now. Pick 37, Los Angeles Chargers with their new uniforms. In the first round, they got Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, how awesome is that? Thank you, Josh, for taking Justin Herbert. The Chargers are going to love Tua in Los Angeles. Selling tickets, obviously. First game's a sellout instantly if he actually goes there.
Yeah.
But he needs help. He needs deep.
It's not hard to sell. Remember, it's not hard to sell out the soccer stadium.
No. Holds like 18,000.
It definitely won't be hard with Tua either. But Tua isn't going to want to run around and basically fend for his life the entire time. They need offensive help. And there are 2 really good offensive tackles on the board. One of which, if the Chargers take, the Broncos need to think about trading up in the second round, especially if they do take Henry Ruggs in the first round. They need protection for Drew Lock. It has to happen. Yeah. And I understand, Tanner, you don't like offensive weapons in the early rounds, but
no, I like weapons in the early. I don't like linemen. I'm cool with the linemen here.
Well, I mean, linemen would be great too. And the lineman I want for the Broncos, though, is Ezra Cleveland from Boise State. And that's who I'm going to hope the Chargers don't take. And because of that, I hope they take Isaiah Wilson, offensive tackle from Georgia. Basically the same players, just Isaiah Wilson, he's a sophomore, redshirted, but he's 6'7", 340 pounds. That's a big man.
He's got that SEC pedigree too.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
That's what I think could sway the Chargers, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. And I think he's got plenty of potential as well to grow with a young team and to grow with a team that's going to have to compete in a tough division like the AFC West.
Well, and I was going to say, if you look at it too, the Broncos are more prone to probably take a guy like Cleveland because we have that Boise State pedigree. If you look at Ryan Clady, who served the Broncos very, very well over the years, that's another Boise State guy. The Broncos love those kind of Mountain West players that really, really stand out and do a good job. So are you going with Isaiah Wilson then?
Yep, definitely. Isaiah Wilson.
Ezra Cleveland also can bump inside and play guard. He's very versatile. I like what he brings to the table. So the Broncos, I'm not sure if he's going to last the field here, but, he's a good name to watch. Wow.
The Panthers.
The Panthers at 38. What a steal the Panthers are about to get right here. Mekhi Becton in the first round because of position of need, but Luke Kuechly is gone, gentlemen. Patrick Queen, the second best linebacker out of LSU on a national championship team, is still here, and I can just plug that hole right now in the second round. This is a steal right here, in my opinion, from the Panthers. Plug it in. Patrick Queen, linebacker, LSU, taking the place of Luke Kuechly in that defense.
So here's something funny and a fun fact for you guys. I have had every Dolphins pick in both rounds so far. For some reason, the Dolphins have fallen on me every single time. Look, they lost Minkah Fitzpatrick last season to a midseason trade. They're going to need some help. What's that?
Drafted Xavier McKinney in the first round.
Totally, yeah, totally.
So, okay.
You still want help up front. Xavier McKinney's great deep help, but you want to fill up the secondary. You don't want to just add one piece.
That's what I was thinking. So, look, a couple people kind of stand out to me. Look, the top 3 choices right now are all cornerbacks. I get that we drafted McKinney earlier, but there's a couple other guys that I'm looking at. And honestly, one that stands out to me he's from the SEC. I looked at him a little bit earlier. Terrell Lewis, or is that Terrell Lewis? It's one of the two.
I think it's Terrell.
Terrell Lewis. He's from
I could be
Alabama.
mistaken, though. Yeah.
He's from Alabama. He's an edge rusher, and I think that could really, really, really help the Dolphins in this case. You got to get pressure to the other quarterbacks. You have to be able to send pressure and be able to, at least if you can't sack the quarterback, get some hits as well as some pressure. So I think they could take a guy like Terrell Lewis, if not Terrell Lewis, at this position right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take him.
I really like that. He's the best edge rusher on this board right now. Edge rusher is one of the most 3 important positions in football. Got to tackle that. Great pick. Cole. Houston Texans, you are Bill O'Brien on a terrible, terrible rampage. And this is the first pick for the Houston Texans here. You've lost DeAndre Hopkins and you got David Johnson. Woo!
Well, one, can I go back in time? Can I fix some decisions?
Nope.
If I'm going to be the front office of the Houston Texans,
bed's already made.
Fix something, man.
You're sleeping in it.
All right. Well, in that case, like you said, Josh, your top picks at this point are basically all defensive backs. You got 2 corners and a safety left.
And that's where they tend to fall.
The Texans don't need. That's not something I don't think the Texans will be looking for. If anything, they need weapons, they need protection, and they need pass rushers.
Yep.
With that said, all the best edge rushers, the Texans can get later in the draft, right?
Yeah, there's no names that are jumping off the board right now that are like, I need to go right here. They're all kind of, it's going to be whoever takes one and starts a run.
Yeah.
Man, I am looking at this guy. I hope I say this right. Neville Gallimore.
Neville Gallimore. Yeah.
I think is it Gallimore?
Yeah, Neville Gallimore.
Redshirt senior out of Oklahoma, interior defensive lineman. I think that would be a really nice addition to J.J. Watt. And the reason I say that, I'm thinking pot roast. Remember back in the day when Houston had just a dominating defense with just Terrence Knight in the middle, J.J. Watt on the outside, and they were tearing people up. Peyton Manning was scared of them. I think you could see that again with an interior defensive lineman like that. And the dude's 304 pounds. You put some steak in him, put some Texas barbecue in him, that's 340 easy. So
I don't know if you want to put that weight on him. Neville Gallimore ran the fastest 40 time at the combine for a defensive lineman.
Really? That honestly talks me into that pick because that seems like something Bill O'Brien would really look into as a deciding factor. So yeah, Neville Gallimore, sorry, damn it. Interior defensive lineman from Oklahoma is my pick for the Texans there.
That's a good pick, man.
I like it.
Neville Gallimore, he's going to be a stud. He's an impressive player. All right, I am the Cleveland Browns at 41. My most glaring needs are a linebacker or an interior offensive lineman.
And you guys got lucky with Jedrick Wills. That's probably the best tackle of the draft.
Yes.
And to be honest, man, I might double down here from the Browns because you look at that, the Browns offense is still loaded. They still have Beckham, who knows. You got several receivers, Landry.
They have Kareem Hunt still, too.
Yeah, and Nick Chubb. I think I'm going to double down here. And this isn't because you mentioned him, Cole. This is because I genuinely really like this guy as a player. Go away. Sorry, pop-ups are killing me. I think I'm going to end up taking Ezra Cleveland here because I know that I drafted an offensive tackle already, and he's listed as an offensive tackle, but he can play guard, or I can play him on the other side. It just gives you versatility. And in the NFL, like what Josh was saying in the first round, offensive linemen are always going down. You want to have that versatility with that. So I'm going Ezra Cleveland here for the Browns. I'm trying to build a wall there to keep Baker up and run that high-powered offense.
That's a good choice. I agree with that one. So I'm the Jags now. Did the Jags take Christian Fulton last round?
No, the Jags took Derek Brown.
Your Jacksonville picks, I'll sum this up for you. Derek Brown, interior defensive lineman, was your first pick. Your second pick, Josh, you went ahead and helped me out, and you got J.K. Dobbins, running back.
That's who I got. Okay, so then let's look at the cornerback position because they lost someone to the Broncos. So the top 3 picks are cornerbacks. And again, I know this might be drafting for need, but I'm going to take the best available player there. and that's A.J. Terrell from Clemson. And I think he could be a good plug-and-play guy. The other guys are from TCU and Utah, which those are no slouch schools or anything like that. I'm not taking anything away from them. But if you can go out and get an SEC corner, I think that's what you do. So I'm going to take A.J. Terrell here for the Jaguars because they're going to need some help in the secondary.
Yeah, I think there's going to be in the second round, the top to the middle of the second round, there's going to be an abundance of defensive backs there.
Yeah.
Jeff Gladney has fallen down in our draft. I'm just not a fan of him. What's wrong with him for you guys?
I don't know. Look, coming from a school like TCU, that scares me. There have been a lot of attitude problems with players that come from TCU. I'm not even saying skill-wise. I'm saying the way that I think they're treated there, they become a little into themselves. They think that a lot of things should just be handed to them, and I don't necessarily like that. I think of the quarterbacks that have gone there, and I know quarterbacks versus defensive backs are completely different, but his name's escaping my mind right now, but he was with the Seattle Seahawks for a little bit, and he literally basically just lost his –
I really actually like him. He's really fast and he's quick. He had a great he's always had great pro days, combines. I know we didn't get to have a senior pro day with him. I still think he could improve with his physicality. It's when he gets up on a big receiver, and when you go against guys like Cortland Sutton, DeAndre Hopkins, just big bodies, Hollywood Brown, really big receivers. Those dudes, they're going to blow right by you, and you need
when it's press coverage. That's where he struggles. Press coverage.
Yes, exactly.
He's a scheme corner. You know.
Yeah. Well, but with that said, he's great in man coverage because if he gets some space off of people, and his speed's fantastic, you can't get away with it. Get away from him. Even a guy like Tyreek Hill, I imagine, would have some trouble. Even though if you just did a straight drag route, he'd blow right past him. But
you, Cole, now get the first pick of this draft for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, and too bad you can't draft a quarterback.
You can. You just got to go way down the list.
Big Foles, man.
But, with our conversation about Jeff Gladney, I think this would be a really good spot for him. I think
Let me ask you real quick, Cole.
Yeah.
What about Jacob Eason, man? He has fallen.
I mean,
is he though?
He's there.
Is he falling?
He's at 82. Look, no, if Jacob Eason would have gone and foregone his senior season, I think he would have been a late first-round draft pick.
Jacob Eason is another guy, though, that you look at Gardner Minshew. It's a guy that you can get 4th round, 5th round, 6th round. He's going to fall deeper in the round because once the run on quarterbacks initially ends and you get those top 4 or 5 guys, especially when Jordan Love goes, probably even when Jake Fromm goes, that's when all quarterbacks are probably done. You won't see any kind of run for that. The Bears are quarterback needy. Right?
I see a spot coming up. I could see Eason fitting in, but I don't.
What about Jake Fromm? Why is Jake Fromm so low?
Arm strength. The perception that he's only assistant quarterback.
See, to me, that is such a skewed stat. I don't think arm strength. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady does not have the strongest arm and never has.
Yes, but Tom Brady came up in a different NFL.
The fact that he lobs the football. There was one play, I can't remember I think it was against Auburn. They were in Georgia. They were playing in Athens. He had one deep ball. It was 50, 60 yards, something like that. But the football took forever to get there. And I distinctly remember that. There's something
about
arm strength. Yeah, that's what's going to hold him back. And I think that's why he should have stayed longer. He's a junior only right now. He should have stayed his senior year. I really believe that for Jake Fromm.
Okay.
He would have been a top first-round pick if he stayed his senior year. But
I'm just not a Jake Fromm guy.
For the Bears right now, you got to pick the best player available. You are in a struggling position in the NFC North. You got to go against the Packers, who are still hot. You got to go against the Lions, who just got Jeffrey Okudah, and they're going to start beefing up their defense. It's going to be a tough division, and it always is. It's always a slug out. It never seems like there's always one clear winner in the NFC North. I still think Jeff Gladney is a good spot here, and I know that's kind of a stupid basic pick, but he is the best player available, and it is exactly what the Bears need right now.
I get it. I'm fine with that.
So, yeah, Jeff Gladney from TCU.
I agree right there. So it is back to me for the Indianapolis Colts at 44 with their first pick. You had the Colts first pick of the draft also, Cole. That's what's funny. Yeah. So I need a target now. I think I lost Funchess. I lost Funchess.
Yes.
Target. There's luckily for me, there's still some great wide receivers here. And I'm trying to find someone to complement T.Y. Hilton. There's one guy here, but I don't think he's a second round guy. I think he's a third or fourth round guy. This guy is a second round guy. He's the highest guy on the board. Jalen Reagor out of TCU. He had a terrible 40 at the combine, but he came back at his pro day and greatly improved. I don't have the exact numbers on his pro day, but it was a headline. Oh, with the hand clock, he ran like a 200th of a second better. So I'm going to take Jalen Reagor here and pair him with T.Y. Hilton for Phillip Rivers.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Phillip Rivers going there. Holy cow. That is, dude, wow. That just blew my mind. Yeah, I'm going to watch. That's insane. I forgot about that.
That's what I was saying. Guy that Phillip Rivers is going to be there this year, maybe 2 years max. Having a guy like Jordan Love there is perfect to start building some development with him.
Philly Rivers.
With the 45th pick, the Bucks, their offense is looking really pretty solid. So
can we talk about that for just one moment? Are they keeping 3 tight ends? Howard, Brait, Gronk.
If anything, they're going to keep Howard and Gronk.
Well, they just re-signed Brait.
Oh, they did. You're right. I
think Howard would be the one on the move.
Howard was on the trading block earlier, a little bit earlier this last season.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's actually pretty interesting. But along with that, their offense is still looking pretty dang hot. So with that, they need to beef up their defense, and they need to beef up their defensive line. So along with that, I'm going to take Marlon Davidson from Auburn. I think he'll be a good fit to help bring the pressure and really stack up that interior defensive line.
He's a beast, man. It's between him or Blacklock for the next best interior D lineman on the board. It's whatever your preference.
Yep.
I just want to catch up real quick. For the Colts, who did you pick, Tanner?
Jalen Reagor, wide receiver, TCU.
All right, and then for the Bucks, then again, Josh, you picked
Marlon Davidson, interior D-line, Auburn.
Marlon Davidson.
Now, Cole, you, after drafting Heavy Ruggs in the first round for the Broncos, have their second round pick here at 46. And again, I tell you, don't screw it up.
Well, I'm going to make this super easy. The Broncos ultimately should trade up in the second round to get this guy because I really doubt he will be there by the time the Broncos have a chance to pick him in the second round. We're going to go ahead and get offensive tackle Austin Jackson from USC.
Yep.
Yes.
Fantastic offensive tackle. He's a great left tackle for the Trojans. 6'6", 310 pounds. Perfect replacement for Bulls. Great anchor tackle. He can run. Great trap plays. He's super great on drive blocks. Great running back tackle. Perfect pick for the Broncos.
Yeah. If he's still there, that'd be surprising to me. I don't think he will be there. I am the Atlanta Falcons at 47 here in the second round, and who did I drafted Grant Delpit for the Atlanta Falcons in the first round. That is correct. So, as we were saying, that they're still a mess here. The last thing they need is an offensive weapon, though. If I'm the Falcons, I'm a little upset that Austin Jackson just went right in front of me. I think that is going to be a money pick for them.
You got to trade up to get Austin Jackson.
Yeah. So, for me, I go best defensive player available. I already drafted a safety. So I'm going to go the next best interior D lineman. I think after Blacklock, Gallimore, and Davidson, there's a huge drop-off. So I'm going to get this right now. I'm going to get Ross Blacklock out of TCU. He can be versatile, and I just need some presence up there on that line.
Can we see who the Jets drafted in the first round?
The receiver, Jerry Jeudy.
That's what I
thought.
First
selection.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I remember that. That's what I thought. I just want to make sure.
Back to you.
Yeah, so it's kind of ironic how many of the same people I'm getting, same teams I'm getting. Yeah, so I like the wide receiver choice. Obviously, I think they need to. I also think Sam Darnold's still going to need some time. There's not many choices for the offensive line anymore.
The Austin Jackson was a huge gut punch to any team that
So,
wanted a lineman.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jonah Jackson, who's the interior offensive lineman from Ohio State, or Lucas Niang from TCU. And I kind of like Lucas. He stood out to me. I actually watched a game against TCU. I can't remember who they played, but I remember the both commentators were literally going off on how well Lucas was playing. And I just think Sam needs a little bit more time when he's throwing the ball and looking downfield. So I'm going to take offensive tackle Lucas Niang here.
Bro, Lucas Niang is 6'7", 340.
Massive.
As athletic as you want him to be, he just needs coaching. And,
he's a raw talent. He's a raw talent. He's going to need a little bit of coaching, some fine-tuning. But if you can hone in what he does really, really well, he'll be a huge weapon. And honestly, if you can hone in what he does well, that's going to be a steal.
Yeah, he's not that plug-in starter right now, but he can start and develop into something great for you.
100%.
Oh, 49, Pittsburgh Steelers. Is this their first pick of the draft? I believe it is.
They did not have any in the first round.
You're getting all of them. So, Noah, go for it. Go for it.
So, I really think the Steelers would take a quarterback. I think this is their next pick isn't until round 3, pick 102, which would be a really great spot to add depth on your defense because you wadded up. You got TJ and
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Minka Fitzpatrick, and you also who's the other Watt brother though?
Derek Watt.
Derek Watt. Thank you. They guys got Derek and TJ Watt. They got Minka Fitzpatrick.
The other Watt.
And I think this would be I definitely think this would be a reach, and definitely it will be frowned upon when you look back in time and things like that. It depends on who you are as a Pittsburgh Steelers
remember, they have Paxton Lynch. Remember that. They have Paxton Lynch.
As much as I love the guy, Josh, there's a 6'6" quarterback, 227 pounds. He's got flow to match Gardner Minshew. He's from Washington. Jacob Eason, I think, would be the Steelers' best pick right there.
I agree with that.
Get somebody to groom under Ben Roethlisberger. It's a bit of a reach for sure.
Yeah.
But it's still something the Steelers, they can fix other holes down the line, and they're not picking until 103. That's another 50 picks. You can't wait that long to wait and see what happens. So I think that's the best pick.
I don't think it's a reach. People always say if you like a quarterback and you want him, it's not really a reach after the first round, right? So, I mean, if you like him here, that was my pick. I was saying for Jacob Eason several picks ago. I was thinking he was going to go to the Steelers.
Okay.
So now, me as the Bears, I got their second pick, and coming off of the Kyle Gladney pick here in the second round for number 50. Nick Foles, that offense looks okay to me, but the offensive line is a mess, but I don't like any of the offensive linemen here. You just lost Ha Clinton Dix.
Yep.
You lost him to the Redskins. And I think
that's not much
you're
of a
going to
loss.
take a safety here. I think Antoine Winfield here out of Minnesota is athletic. He's a versatile defensive back, and you just tackle him and you pair him with Eddie Jackson, who was an all-pro not too long ago.
So I want to ask you guys real quick. Sean Lee, he's still playing for the Cowboys, right?
He's on their roster.
He's injured every other game. That's another thing. And who is the guy from BYU who plays just like Sean Lee?
In the draft?
No. He's played for them for like 3 or 4 years.
Their other linebackers are Jalen Smith and the Boise State guy.
Oh, was it Boise State?
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yes, thank you. Yes. So he has had a couple injury problems as well. I'm looking on the defensive side of the ball for these guys. We got a few linebackers in Jordan Brooks from Texas Tech, as well as Willie Gay Jr. from Mississippi State. Now, these are low guys in the draft. I think they could wait. I really do. Because I know we went defensive on the first side. Other than that, I mean, Ezekiel Elliott remains relatively healthy when he plays, so I think you can kind of plug and play any running back behind him. I don't think you necessarily need to go for that. Mm-hmm. So with this, I think
Tony Pollard's a stud. I also think Tony Pollard, their current backup, I think he's a stud too.
Yeah, he can handle it. He can totally handle it.
He's a stud on that anyway.
With this, I'm going to take – how's their defensive line look?
DeMarcus Lawrence, you just signed him to a big deal. I think.
Well, and they're looking for, aren't they looking for Alden Smith? He's trying to get play. Yeah, he's trying to play for them if he gets off of his suspension. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with Jordan Brooks, the linebacker. I think they're going to need help there. They have been relatively unhealthy there, so I think that's a good pick for them.
I like it. See, Jordan Brooks wouldn't be my pick at linebacker here. I have another preference, but my preference is a character issue guy, which, you know, a lot of NFL teams aren't going to go with character issue guys in the second round. But, you know, if you're going to roll the dice there, it's not too terrible. Cole, coming around to you as the Los Angeles Rams pick 52. Are you kidding me? Is this their first pick? This is their first pick.
Yeah.
Cole, how are you doing this? What craft are you spitting here?
Well, one, if the Rams get any kind of options, get some kind of options on offense.
I don't think they have any cap or draft assets left.
No, they're probably gonna be forced to stay here. If anything, maybe even go backwards, which would just be weird.
They're in some trouble.
Yeah, their best option is a corner. Add some help to Jalen Ramsey. Get the pressure off of him to where where people aren't just throwing to the opposite side of the field. And your best pick, he's 5'11". He's really short, and that's why he's gonna fall so far. I can't say his last name. Help me out, guys. He's from Auburn.
It's Noah, right?
Noah Igbinoghene.
Igbinoghene.
That guy.
Yeah,
there's 3 shots at the board.
I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a diamond in the rough kind of player because I hate that people are going to knock him because he's 5'11".
Hey, Chris Harris Jr. is like 5'11", 6 feet. He is not a tall dude.
Exactly, and I think actually even him.
The height is a luxury trait in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just think him matching up with Jalen Ramsey, that's 2 complements with each other. Jalen Ramsey, he's obviously a slot guy. I think this Noah, he could probably even go on the outside a bit more, be a speedy guy if he gets it up more. Because obviously he didn't make a name for himself setting records with the 40.
No.
Yeah. So I like that pick there. I have the Eagles. And
need weapons. Eagles need weapons.
The Eagles went with Kenneth Murray in the first round here, and I'm not going to waste any time. There's receivers on the board that have some speed, right? And speed, but I just said speed's kind of a luxury. The Eagles with I always say this name weird, JJ, but I think the name itself, JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Yes, yeah.
He is a good possession guy. But good Lord, he cannot get open to save his life. So I think that you need a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And somebody who impressed me so much when I watched his tape out of Arizona State is Brandon Ayuk. I think people have mocked him in the first round as a talent for some teams. I think you can get somebody that can run routes. I think you get somebody that can have that ability with some speed to take it over the top on some corners. And I think that Brandon Ayuk is the receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he's got to know if the Arizona kid can go play in the snow.
Yeah, hey, that's fair. So I'm looking at Buffalo.
Their first pick of the draft after the
I still, yes, it is. I still love Buffalo's offense, to be honest. I think Josh Allen, is a solid. Honestly, from his draft year, I think he has the chance to be the best quarterback out of that draft year. So, and that's huge. Cole, you made a face. Do you have someone in mind? I want to consult with you.
No. So I just keep looking at that Ravens. The Eagles taking Brandon Ayuk leaves a player on the board. I don't want to say who he is because he could even help the Bills. I don't want to give you the pick. But I am.
Well, I'm thinking defense. I'm thinking defense.
Well, I'm definitely thinking offense for the Ravens, but I'm shocked I'm thinking offense for the Ravens because if I am, I'm kicking myself I took a receiver in the first round.
Do you know who I think would actually fit really well with the Bills? Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Diggs' brother, who is now with the Bills. And
I love it.
Simply because of that, I'm going with Trayvon Diggs, a cornerback from Alabama.
And I agree with that pick.
He's somebody who was incredibly Like last season, he was projected to go much higher. Just didn't have a very productive season this year. So the talent is there. It's just like you were saying,
absolutely
recency bias.
He is just like just like his big brother Stephon, because if they do not play well, they get in their head and they can't handle it. So you just got to get them confidence. Build that confidence.
All right, Cole, Baltimore Ravens coming off of the pick of Chase Claypool, who is, in my unrespected opinion, a Megatron potential clone. So you already have addressed wide receiver here.
Yeah, I would. I would. If I'm the Ravens, I'm seriously considering taking T. Higgins from Clemson here. Seriously considering.
Doubling down.
The only reason I would not is because, of course, I've already drafted. Where is he?
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool. And that's plenty of weapons, I think, for Lamar Jackson. So I don't think I would reach. I don't think I would do anything like that. My next biggest decision here, I guess, I almost want to go with Lloyd Cushenberry III, redshirt junior from LSU, played great in the national championship game. Joe Burrow, as far as I can tell, had great time. He wasn't running for his life every single play. I think he would be a fit for Lamar Jackson, and especially for a guy that's going to start needing help because he can't run forever. He can't run forever. Yep. So I think that's going to be the Ravens pick there. Lloyd Cushenberry, LSU, interior offensive line.
Okay. I like it. That's a good fit.
And you can't go wrong, in my opinion, drafting these guys that are coming off that LSU team. Great coaching, and they're riding that momentum.
And that's obviously a factor, right? National championships play a massive factor in guys that get drafted. I know we even saw back-to-back TCU guys get taken off the board. But the fact that Alabama, LSU players, that's going to be your top two schools. I would almost guarantee at least top three schools that be drafted. The national championship plays a massive factor in that. I'd say your third school is what, Ohio State?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I'm the Dolphins at 56 here. Dolphins are having a great offseason with these free agent acquisitions on the defensive side of the ball with Eric Flowers on their offensive line. They've drafted Tua Tagovailoa, Josh Jones, and they've drafted a plethora of people. So I think now they continue to help out their offense a little bit. They continue to help out Justin Herbert, their quarterback. And
brand new quarterback, Justin Herbert, man.
I think you need to pair somebody with Devontae. Oh God, who's their one wide receiver? Devontae Parker. There we go.
Devontae Parker.
Now, T. Higgins is a talented wide receiver, but he is the same type of wide receiver as Devontae Parker. So I think you need to kind of mix it up and you need to diversify it. And I think with a Miami Dolphins team that's doing a rebuild, you need a way to get some big plays quickly. KJ Hamler out of Penn State, who is a flyer, find the way to get him the football in open field on quick little screens and whatnot, or down the field. I think that's a great pick. It'll help out the Miami Dolphins offense.
So you're going with KJ?
KJ Hamler, baby. Speed, speed, speed.
That's going to start such a frenzy for trades. Big time. Because if T. Higgins is next to Michael Pittman, I guess, those are your big two names left on the board right now. That's going to start a massive trade frenzy.
Well, that's what I was going to say with the Rams pick.
Oh?
I think they're going with Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah, okay. I see that for sure.
Hometown kid.
It's a California boy, and they need help on offense. They went all in 2 years ago. Signed all these big people, and now they're just giving people away. Look, Corey Littleton left. They're literally giving people away like none other. So he needs to help out really everybody on offense. And I think if they go with Michael Pittman Jr., they'll have a solid sized receiver who's got speed and is familiar with obviously the California weather, everything like that. I think he can only help them on the offense. So I'm going to go with Michael Pittman Jr. here.
Yep. Where's Brandon Cooks going next? Real quick.
Brandon Cooks?
Where's he going next? After I know he's got traded. He went from the Rams to the
Houston.
Yes.
He's playing with the Texans.
So where's he playing next season?
Dude, for such a talent he has, it boggles my mind how he's always on the move. He has got to have some character problem or something where coaches are like, look, you got immense talent, but dude, we can't handle your locker room presence.
Yeah. All right.
Don't mess this up.
Cole, you are the Vikings at 58, coming off the picks in the first round.
This is my pick?
And Christian Fulton.
Oh, I already know I'm picking. He's the last best receiver on this board. The Vikings need replacements. They need Kirk Cousins needs weapons. He's probably arguably going to be one of the better receivers out of this draft. T. Higgins, receiver from Clemson, the last great receiver on this board because everybody else is going to fall. Probably just the best fit you could imagine, right, Josh?
I agree, totally, 100%.
Open, get a guy to pair with a route runner that can get open.
Yep.
I agree that he does need to be more consistent. I'm looking at a draft report right here. His hands, it's Demaryius Thomas is a perfect comp. I think because this dude's 6'4", he's a heavy body. I think if you added some weight to him, that would be totally beneficial. But it's Demaryius Thomas-esque to where he's not going to catch everything you throw at him, and that's going to be frustrating for
the weirdest ones. Demaryius Thomas in his career dropped the ones right in his chest.
Yep, exactly.
The one-handed grabs, so weird. That was Ashley Lilly-esque. If you go way back and remember Ashley Lilly for the Denver Broncos, dropped that balls right in his hands and then made the amazing one-handed catches. He'll be like that. Just get more consistent.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue with Demaryius Thomas towards the end. I love him, great player, but that was my thing. I'm the Seahawks here. Oh, man, the Seahawks.
That was a massive run on receivers. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but that was a massive run on receivers. You got KJ Hamler, Michael Pittman Jr., and T. Higgins back to back to back.
Well, it's like what I was saying earlier. Like at this point, it's just going to be runs started by their teams addressing positions, and you were saying that's the best two left. So not surprised to see them go here. Oh, man, if I'm the Seattle Seahawks coming off of the Cesar Ruiz pick, it's not – oh, man, I don't want to do this. It's not a cute pick. It's not a exciting pick by any means. But I think you still need to address this offensive line. You still need to help it. You're in a division with the 49ers who are going to be an issue. I think that Prince Tegawango out of Auburn can be again, he's a tackle that isn't right now going to be the best, but he's serviceable right now, and he can develop into a potential all-pro talent for me. So I think him and Cesar Ruiz.
Are you sure you're wanting to take him over where is he? Oh, I just saw his name. Curtis Weaver, edge rusher from Boise State.
I'm not a Weaver guy, man. The Clowney thing is still up in the air. I think you need your money. Your best asset is Russell Wilson in that offense, and you need to protect him. And your biggest threat in your division is the 49ers and that defensive line. So I think with that mentality, that's how you attack this.
So you're going with Prince?
Prince Tegawango, oh yeah.
All right.
And now that is to you, Josh. The Ravens pick here at number 60. They have drafted Claiborne, and they just drafted an interior offensive lineman, the LSU product Cushenberry, correct?
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity for a linebacker or an edge rusher right here.
I was literally just looking at Willie Gay Jr., linebacker from Mississippi State. Also, is it Joshua Uche or Uche? I think it's Uche.
Is it Uche or Uche?
I think it's Uche.
Oh, Uche? Okay, hard CH. Okay,
yeah,
so
but again,
hard CH, yeah.
Again,
you know what? The more I look at him, actually, he's a guy from Michigan, and I like his size. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take Joshua Uche from Michigan simply because a guy like – if you're coming from the big house, I've been partial to Michigan for a long time. So that might be a bias there, but I'm going to go with Joshua Uche there. I think whether you take Willie Gay or Uche, it's kind of whatever you want more or what you think you need more, either linebacker or edge rusher. But I'm going to go with Joshua Uche, yeah.
No, I like that pick because, honestly, your only other decision is Raquan Davis. I think that's the only other fit right there. And I think the Ravens would much rather have pass rushers as opposed to run stoppers going into next season.
My pick would have been Willie Gay Jr. there because he's just that prototypical – or that stereotypical Ravens pick, you know. He had academic issues. I think he was caught cheating on a test. That's why he was suspended. Still a tremendous talent. He's SEC proven. And, you know, the Ravens, that's kind of their MO, you know what I mean? They don't really care about those character concerns. So that would have been my option there. But we are to you, Cole, the Tennessee Titans at pick 61. I believe that was you that drafted in the
it was.
first round for the Tennessee Titans, Laviska Shenault.
Yep. I wanted to get a weapon over there for, I guess, Ryan Tannehill, who, to be honest, I knew he still had some football in him. I didn't know it would be that much football, but, man, he's getting paid. More power to the Tennessee Titans, but at this point, now is time for defense. Let's fix everything on the other side of the football. And actually, the guy I just mentioned from Alabama, Raquan Davis, the dude is a stud. He's 6'7", 312 pounds. Great movement around the football. He's got a great bull rush move, obviously. The dude's 6'7", and he's from Alabama. They obviously fed him some cornbread growing up. So I think he's a great fit for Tennessee. Southern boy, just going to fit around the culture there. And it's just an easy pick for me, I guess.
Yeah, Alabama defensive linemen they're consistent, man. You're not going to know them too much. They're not going to be household names in the NFL, but they're going to produce. They're going to be steady.
But they're definitely consistent. And I think it's even one of those guys Nick Saban would look at and say one of the better players in the draft.
And you're seeing this trend with tall defensive linemen in the interior guy, these 6'6", 6'7" guys, because if all else fails, they just do this and jump, and they're going to pat the ball down.
And when it's such a pass-happy league, and you got short quarterbacks, that's an actual thing now. You got Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. Like that, short quarterbacks are becoming a thing in the NFL. And if the taller you got on the defensive line, the easier it is to bat down a football.
Totally.
So I am the Packers here. And, oh, man, at 62, there is a player here that I think is not going to fall this far. But for me being the Packers, it is a player or a position that I've already addressed thoroughly in the previous draft. So I just can't do it. And the back end still looks good. We see all these defensive backs here. And a lot of resources went into that defense. So I think it's got to be offense here. I don't think it's going to be offensive line. You could go after no, I don't think it's going to be that. It's going to be a wide receiver.
Jonah Jackson is not worth the pick. Is that who you're thinking of?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so for me, I've got a wide receiver here that I think is the dark horse for the wide receivers. He's got a lot of potential. He's out of somewhere that you just mentioned has a lot of you have a lot of bias for, Josh. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yes.
Keeping him up north, pairing him with Aaron Rodgers, I think he could turn him into a very, very productive wide receiver. Yep.
I could not agree more with that. That's a brilliant pick if you're the Packers, honestly. And if Peoples-Jones does fall that far, which he has a chance of that. Mm-hmm. That's a solid pick. You will not go wrong with that.
And I think getting this late here too.
Yeah, totally. So I have the Chiefs, and I'm trying to think. I personally can't remember who their cornerbacks are. Look, I love the Honey Badger. I love him. So
they don't have any help on their secondary.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. So right now,
this is a great pick.
I was looking at either Jalen Johnson or Damon Arnett from Ohio State. I want to help him out with a cornerback, and I see you're pretty excited about this, Tanner. Who are you thinking? I want to see if it's the same person.
JJ, man, Jalen Johnson had a great season on that Utah defense that year that was so good for like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that much about him. A lot of people that were high on him talked very highly about him, so I looked into him a little bit. I think that he's a gamer, man. He brings that dog mentality.
I would also consider Damon Arnett, number 3 at Ohio State.
That's why I'm
well, I mean, you're the tiebreaker. Pick a guy.
Ohio State makes great DBs.
I agree with that. So, look, and Tanner, I realize I understand. I'm on board with what you said about Utah. It's different. It's different opponents that Utah is going to play against than Ohio State. And I think simply for that reason, I'm going to go with Arnett from Ohio State. I think he's more pro-ready. I think there's going to be a bigger learning curve for JJ.
That's okay. So, wow, and I know I'm not taking a cornerback. Or no, sorry, this is not me. This is you, Cole. You are Jalen Johnson. Wow. So if Jalen Johnson falls in the third round, I would be very surprised in the real draft.
Yeah, me too.
Now,
Cole.
But if I'm the Seahawks, though,
we don't need
Jalen Johnson there, I bet you could get a decent trade going on with probably maybe even Miami. I'm looking at the Chargers.
Denver.
Jacksonville would probably be willing to make a trade at that point. I mean, the Denver definitely would be willing.
I mean, look, if you're Denver and you're holding 3/3, you really think the Denver Broncos are going to make 3 third-round draft selections in this draft? That is trade capital.
They did last year. They made 3 big time 3-round picks, and they all are ending up pretty good right now. So
last pick of the second round goes to you, Cole.
I think Boise State's going to hold up here, and I really like Curtis Weaver. Curtis Weaver, he's 6'3", 265. He's got great footwork. He's got great fundamentals, great IQ, football IQ. I think that's going to favor over in Seattle just because it's developmental and it's a position of need. And he's one of the better edge rushers still available there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the second round with Curtis Weaver, defensive end / outside linebacker from Boise State.
I like that pick, man. He's the last of the B-tier pass rushers for me. Okay, I'm the Cincinnati Bengals starting off the third round here. I started off the draft with them taking Joe Burrow, and Josh, to start off the second round, took the running back. Which running back did you take?
His name's escaping me, but I took him over because I thought Joe Mixon would need some help.
You took
DeAndre Swift. Yeah, the best running back projected for a lot of people here. So for the Bengals, it's a third round. I'm looking needs are everywhere. I think I might just take the best player available here, and I'm going to take the guy I've been talking about, Jalen Johnson, because I think he is – I think it's Jalen Johnson and everybody else right now. So
they literally need any help they can get.
Yeah.
Okay, Washington. You know what? I'm going to go with the best player available right there with Jeremy Chin. I think they need help on defense. I recall last season they benched their cornerback, and I know he's a safety, Jeremy Chin, but they benched their cornerback, Josh, what's his name from Carolina?
Norman?
Josh Norman, thank you. I think he's washed up completely. He's been piss poor since he left Carolina. So I'm going to go Jeremy Chin. They need help on defense. They really need help really wherever. But Ron Rivera is a defensive-minded coach. I think he's going to get and try to, make the defense a little bit stronger in all areas.
Definitely, for sure. I like that pick a lot. Cole, Lions, Okudah, and Zach Bond have been your selections thus far.
Yeah, for the Lions, this is pretty easy, self-explanatory. I'm going to get a guy that's going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone at guard and tackle. Jonah Jackson, interior offensive lineman from Ohio State. It says interior offensive lineman, but that dude can't place tackle at 6'4".
Yes, I agree.
Great pick.
All right, Tanner, you're at the Jets.
I am indeed. I was that was kind of the pick I had selected for them going into my thought process, but then you've just taken them, so I need to switch gears here. Jets still need an edge rusher. God, there's not a lot there. So
Akwara from Notre Dame.
Edge rushers are important.
I was gonna say don't overlook Akwara. He's a Notre Dame grad. Those guys are smart. Just ask Ryan Harris.
I know that's kind of what I was thinking of here. But
even top first word in his draft profile is athletic. So
yeah,
I think that's going to be the pick here, Akwara, because the pass rusher, you need to address that. You need to get that guy you can consistently count on to get after the quarterback there, and take a shot on the guy that has the best grades there.
All right, cool. I am with the Panthers for pick number 69. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, they still need help on – well, they kind of need help. Did we pick up a wide receiver for them in the first round?
No, they've got Mekhi Becton and they have Patrick Queen in the draft, but they acquired Robbie Anderson in free agency.
He's a good long ball, and they have a couple guys from a few years ago in the draft as well. So I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go for me. This might be a little bit of a jump here. I don't know if this will actually happen. I'm going to go with Bryce Hall, cornerback from Virginia. They need help at the cornerback position. They've had injury problems there last year and inconsistency problems as well. I'm going to go with Bryce Hall from Virginia on that pick.
Solid. Good player. I've heard people say good things about him right there. Cole, number 70, the Miami Dolphins. They've had a plethora of picks here, addressing a whole bunch of stuff. Their most recent pick was KJ Hamler.
Yeah, the Dolphins have had a fantastic draft. I think the Dolphins
Offseason altogether.
You're
Fans would
welcome.
be super happy with this. This is actually the perfect time for a running back. This is the time to get somebody to grow up with Justin Herbert and to grow up with an offensive lineman, edge rusher, safeties, blah, 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 blah,
There's
blah.
one left for me that I really like.
Well, and I think this is the guy I'm gonna be taking. He's a hometown kid, well, at least from college. Florida State, Cam Akers. He's probably best option there. I really liked watching him. He's 5'11". He's that perfect stature for a running back, and he's gonna go make some money, man, in Florida.
I agree with
man,
that.
he killed the combine, and Florida State running backs are just so productive in the NFL.
And it's a hometown hero. You've been obviously scouting him since the very beginning, so it's a clear pick.
All right, I am the Los Angeles Chargers toting Tua Tagovailoa, and I just drafted a offensive lineman to accompany him. My defense still looks pretty good here, to be honest with you, but I also lost Melvin Gordon. I don't like any of these running backs. See, this is where it gets tough, man. This is where it gets gritty. For me, I think I got to go. Yeah, I like this pick for here. I'm going to go Willie Gay Jr. for the Chargers. As good as their defense is, their secondary stack, their defensive line is stacked, they needed somebody in the middle. They need that play caller, that enforcer, and he's that guy.
Well, and this is where you're starting to look for depth, just in case injury or trade or anything happens. This is where you're trying to build depth. We're in the third round. Willie Gay Jr. fits there really, really well. He's going to look sweet in those new jerseys that they got. I like that pick.
And that's your first defensive player for the Chargers, too. First defensive player for the Chargers, too.
Yes.
Moving on, I believe, is it me for the Cardinals now?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I actually really love the Cardinals offense. So I'm going to go on the defensive side of the ball. And with this, I'm actually going to go interior D lineman with Davon Hamilton. I think you should beef up the defensive line as much as you can. Really, really, really help the run defense. That's what I want to look for. Run stoppage, all that stuff. So Davon Hamilton from Ohio State, I think is going to fit that mold pretty darn well, to be honest.
Yeah, and he's not the best like stand your ground run stopper right now, but he is a good blend of that with a ability for some interior pass rush.
Well, and again, I'm depth building right now. He's not going to be a starter. He's not. But in case someone goes down, or maybe he is a standout in training camp. You never know. These are the rounds where you can have standouts or guys that don't even make the team. So just building depth.
All right, Cole, you got your team again here at 73 in the third round.
Well, for some reason, this draft thing I keep looking at says Jacksonville needs a quarterback, which is a lie. Beowulf Minshew all the way. Super Bowl. Let's go.
I agree.
Jacksonville needs a safety, a corner, linebacker, at minimum an interior offensive lineman. I think you can find that later down the line. You got a great safety in Ashton Davis and Kyle Duggar. I'm not going to look past Kyle Duggar at all, one bit. Malik Harrison, though, linebacker from Ohio State. Oh, man, Jacksonville even added a linebacker from Cleveland. I'm forgetting his name. He's escaping me at the moment. Hold on.
Schubert?
Schubert, thank you. I think that would be a great addition to maybe just help groom somebody along. I think that's what Jacksonville would be thinking as well. Malik Harrison, man, dude, 6'3", 246. Ohio State, that's Jacksonville's pick right there.
Yeah, and no one knows what's happening with Telvin Smith, the great question mark of Jacksonville, right?
Man, well, and you know what's weird? He keeps going on Instagram talking about this stuff where, like, he realizes his mistake and all this stuff, and he's teasing me. I don't know what's going on.
Don't buy it.
I would love a return, though. I would love for him to come back because that would be my saving grace at this point.
All right, so I'm Cleveland, 74. Two offensive linemen have gone for the Cleveland Browns here, addressing that to keep that offense working. So now I think you need some defense here. And I'm going to take a player who I really don't know much about other than hearing a few people say that he, for a small school guy, he's got a lot of fight. And usually when you see those guys from those D2 smaller schools that you don't know much about, and they're projected to go this high, they turn out pretty well. And it's a position in need here for the Browns. So I think Kyle Duggar out of Lenoir Rhine going to be a good pickup here in the third round for the Brownies.
Yeah, so I think for the Colts, moving on a little bit, I think for the Colts right now would be a perfect time to get a guy like Jake from State Farm, because for me personally, if you can get 2 years out of Phillip Rivers, okay, and
Time out. Have you already taken Jordan Love here?
Oh, did they already take Jordan Love?
I believe the Colts have Jordan Love already. I think he was an early second-round selection.
Well, then I completely disagree with what I just said. If they took Jordan Love.
The Colts took a chance on Jordan Love. That was my pick. I remember
and
that.
They also took Jalen Reagor in the last round.
Yep. Okay. So that makes sense. So if they already took Jordan Love, then that's fine. Scratch that. Now I want to know.
You need more weapons.
Didn't they get a tight end from, or did they send their tight end somewhere?
They just no. The Colts just signed somebody. It's gonna bug me. They just
signed Phillip Rivers, and they have signed Anthony Costanzo, offensive tackle, and they have also signed Xavier Rhodes, defensive back.
They signed Xavier Rhodes?
Yep.
Oh, I am so sorry for them.
Hey, Trey Burton. They got Trey Burton today.
From the Bears.
Yes.
I don't know if I like Trey Burton that much.
Okay.
So I was looking after I forego on Jake Fromm. I was looking at Cole Kmet from Notre Dame.
They did lose Njoku. Did they?
Well, no, the Njoku was from the Browns.
Oh, God, that was way out of left field. Ebron,
thank you. Eric Ebron. That's who I was thinking they lost. But if they signed, okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm still going to take a chance on a tight end here because injuries happen, and they might want a guy opposite Trey Burton. So
this is a perfect time for a tight end.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cole. Is it Cole Kmet or Cole Kmet?
I think it's Cole Kmet.
Okay, so let's go with him. I'm going to take him.
I don't know if the K is silent, but Cole's fine with me. It sounds great.
It's a hard K.
Yeah.
Cole, 76, the Tom Brady TB, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know, I really like Antonio Gibson from Memphis, running back, 6'1", senior. He's just a great power back. I think that'd be a nice compliment with Tom Brady, but I still think that would be way too much of a reach. He's just way too far deep. I think your best chance actually would be Matt Hennessy and beefing up your offensive line because let's face it, your prime weapon on your offense in Tampa Bay is Tom Brady. The last thing you need is him getting hurt. Matt Hennessy from Temple is going to do exactly that and keep him from doing that, and that's your pick right there.
Perfect.
Matt Hennessy, the interior offensive lineman?
From Temple.
What? Where?
You should be at the top of your draft board, predictive board.
Okay, sorry. There we go. I was sorting by position. Okay. Oh, I have a Broncos pick. How wonderful. The Broncos have drafted Henry Ruggs, and their second-round pick was a offensive tackle. So I'm going to address the defensive side of the football right now. I think the offense is looking very nice. Man, there's corner. You need a corner if you're the Broncos, and you need a linebacker.
Can I give my 2 cents real quick?
Yeah, hit me with it.
I actually don't mind Ashton Davis here simply because I don't know how healthy or how consistent Josie Jewell and others can be. So I think adding a guy like that from California, safety out of California, can only bring more depth to the defensive back position. And I actually liked him out of California.
I like him too, Josh. The only thing here is if I'm taking a DB, I got to take a corner that can line up and press somebody, or I'm taking a linebacker that can be personal. Now,
because I also don't know how much I like Todd Davis either.
No, I don't like him either. Now, this is going to be a reach. This is going to be a reach to some people, but Fangio is a linebacker guru, right? He can coach and coach up any great athlete to a linebacker. So for me, I want to take the most athletic linebacker on the board right now. Troy Dye is 6'4", and he's in the high 220s. If you put a little bit more weight on him, he could be a stud there. And I think that if under Vic Fangio's tutelage, he could be that every down because he can cover a tight end. You bet your ass he can cover it.
Wilson is more athletic. Logan Wilson from Wyoming would be way more athletic.
Yes, but Troy Dye is proven to be consistent, and he knows how to use that athleticism at a much higher level than Logan Davison. I'm a Troy Dye guy here, and I think that he could be a great linebacker for the Broncos.
Dude, you can easily get him in the 4th round. You know the Broncos are picking at 95, right?
I know this, but I don't see much else here. For me, I'm drafting a linebacker.
You got Justin Matabuke, interior defensive lineman from Texas A&M, to pair up with Von Miller.
I like for the Broncos, I know that'll be there in the last pick of the 3rd round more than likely.
I agree with Ashton Davis too, man.
Okay, how much do you know about Troy Dye? Do you just not know enough about Troy Dye?
I already clicked Troy Dye. I clicked him.
Hey, I clicked him.
It's not. Hey, Cole. We're not the Broncos general manager. That was Tanner. So
I know.
What's funny about that though, Cole, is for the Falcons, I'm taking Logan Wilson from Wyoming. I loved him, and he was still a player there when I was at CSU, and I watched him help Wyoming win the border war all 3 years that I was there at CSU. So, yeah, I like Logan Wilson a lot, and I think the Falcons, if he gets that far, they're going to take him.
Pair him up with Deion Jones on that linebacking core. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Cole, you are the Jets at 79, who are having a pretty good draft. You have Jerry Jeudy. You have a offensive tackle and an edge rusher tackling some needs here.
This is just filling up depth and just filling up exactly what you need. Another guy, he's not from LSU, but he is from Louisiana. Robert Hunt, interior offensive lineman from Louisiana. He's 6'5", 336, and I think it's just some depth that the Jets could add to help protect Sam Darnold.
Hey, real quick, Tanner, since the Raiders are picking back-to-back, you want to just do both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
That makes sense. Just be the GM for both of them.
So you went with who? Robert Hunt there?
Robert Hunt, interior offensive lineman. He's a little down there.
Okay, I see you.
It's a bit of a reach.
Mm-hmm. I'll leave it be, even though you cooked my Troy Dye pick. Okay, I'm going back-to-back for the Raiders here. Raiders have drafted a wide receiver and a pass rusher. I believe that is CeeDee Lamb and Caleb Chason. And they had no 3rd round pick. This is still a mess here. I'm not going to go for needs right now. I'm going to look at the board for best potential player. And Ashton Davis, your guy you were just talking about, is there. Or Matabuke. I might go Matabuke here because he's a position in need for the Raiders.
Well, and you can get Davis with your next pick if you want to.
Well, that's just it. You get 2 picks. So go ahead.
Right. Yeah, I'm going boom, boom. I'm going top 2 here.
So Matabuke and Davis?
Yes, sir. In that order. Josh, coming to you. You were the Cowboys at 82.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
C.J. Henderson in the 1st round. And then a linebacker in the 2nd round.
So actually, no, Jason Witten's gone, isn't he? He's with the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Holy cow. You know what? Then I'm going to go with who I perceive as the top tight end. I'm going to take Adam Troutman because I prefer him over Bryce Hopkins, who's from Purdue. I think Dayton, you can get a little more experience there, just a little bit. So I'm going to go with Troutman.
I like it. Okay. Good stuff there.
I cannot believe that Jason Witten was even good enough to go to the Raiders. Like, that boggles my mind.
I can't believe somebody thought that he could do color commentary on Monday Night Football. That's right. Cole,
Cole, you got the Broncos. You get to fix all of Tanner's mistakes.
It was just one.
Well, hey,
it was just one.
Now, all things considering, Broncos country, you have gotten a receiver, an offensive tackle, and a linebacker that can cover.
Yeah.
So, all things considering, John Elway has had a fantastic draft.
Defensive line,
it's definitely what I was looking at. But my guy, Justin Matabuke, is no longer there. So
look at Rashard Lawrence out of LSU.
Look at Lecky Fotu, who you can just plug in the middle of that 3-4 and take up both A gaps consistently.
Well, I do got to say there's one guy, I got to try to find him real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Where are you? There he is.
Either one of those guys, though. Rashard Lawrence out of LSU is a stud.
Man, I do like Rashard Lawrence. I also really like Jordan Elliott from Missouri because he did play with Drew Lock. I really like that. He's a
Yeah,
redshirt junior,
yeah.
315. He's 6'4". I
But
like
it's not
that.
like it matters because he's defensive line. He's not helping out Drew Lock at all. You know,
Yeah, if
he's
you're
not
going to take a
blocking.
D lineman, I think that there's
But I like him because I think he's better than Rashard Lawrence. There's another guy that I think is even better, Jason Stowbridge, who I think could even be a little bit better. But because I think he went to a national championship, the Broncos are going to bite the bullet on him. Rashard Lawrence, LSU.
that's a good pick. It adds more versatility to the Broncos front, which they need after losing Derek Wolfe.
And I think it's better than Lekai Fotu from Utah because I don't trust Utah players anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think you can trust a Utah player. Lucky Fotu is he's the mountain man that you can run in the in the middle of the defense that can take.
I don't think he would fit in Denver.
It's fine. That's fair. Linebacker is the greatest need here for the Los Angeles Rams at 84.
Dude, I think Akeem Davis got
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
You put him back there. He's your next Corey Littleton, right? He can fly over the field. I
actually like App State. I kind of like that college. I have no qualms with them, to be honest.
No.
So with pick 85, the Detroit Lions, because they unfortunately did not get Rob Gronkowski from 2 years ago when they tried to trade. I'm going to take Thaddeus Moss, which is Randy Moss's son out of LSU. I think that's he is a beast, dude. He is massive.
Are not a Bryson Hopkins guy.
No.
Dude, Thaddeus Moss is probably going to be the best tight end out of this draft.
Well, and that's the thing. I just can't – if you can take a 2-year starter out of LSU versus a 4 or 3-year starter out of Purdue, who do you take every time?
You take
LSU in that situation, but I think Bryson Hopkins has got
nothing
a lot of ways to get open and be dangerous in the pass.
Yes, I just think people fall to the bias of taking an SEC school out of a smaller school.
Okay. Cole, 56 here for the 86 here for the Buffalo Bills.
Man, there's one guy I can't believe he's still there. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? He's from Florida. Man, this guy kicked can all over everybody, dude. He kicked can over Vanderbilt, Mizzou, Alabama.
He was inconsistent
all over the place. Actually, looking at route running, get that. If I could say one thing about this guy, it guaranteed is his route running is the best in the NFL draft. Van Jefferson from Florida is going to the Buffalo Bills. That's going to stack up Buffalo, and honestly, that will probably solidify them as the best team in the AFC East.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about defensive player and Jonathan Greenard. I was
not my cup of tea.
Building hype up, and I was like, really?
No, I think Buffalo is going to go offense. They already got Trevin Diggs as a corner, and let me see who else did they got. They had one more pick, right? No, that was it. So actually, they already fixed the defense. So, yeah, I think that's even better pick, too, because you got defensive weapon, offensive weapon, 2 speedy guys, 2 guys guaranteed to make your team better.
Tanner, who you got for the Pats?
This is probably my favorite pick I've made just because it's so perfect. Jake Fromm.
Yes, I knew it.
He is the Bill Belichick pupil to be, I think. He's going to be the next man up in that New England offense. He's going to run the system the way Bill Belichick wants his system ran, with no questions or no debates.
Big time.
So, for me, with the Saints, there's not much else that I need to fix with them. So I guess I could kind of just be going for depth here.
Luxury.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking I want to beef up the defensive line.
And remember, you already got a really decent receiver.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I want to go defense here.
They run a 4-3 also, so you're not looking for like that big run stop like I was talking about. You want like an athletic guy here for them.
I think I'd rather go Darrell Taylor, the edge rusher out of Tennessee.
Yes.
I'm not a Greenard guy. I'm sorry.
No.
I'd rather take Darrell Taylor out of Tennessee, and I think that's probably a good choice for them.
That's an SEC guy. That makes sense. Big time.
Yeah, and I think he'd probably play well in the South. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Just to piggyback that, I'm not drafting Greenard. One of you are going to have to do it. It sounded like you're going to have to do it, Cole, because unless we're not going to the 5th round, so I'm not taking Greenard.
Me neither.
But that being said, Cole, you are on the clock for the Minnesota Vikings once again, who have gone defense, wide receiver.
And if I'm picking for the Vikings, I sure as heck ain't taking an edge rusher. I already got T. Higgins. And who else have I already got? I got
AJ Epinesa and Christian
Fulton and AJ Espinosa. So, I ain't taking an edge rusher. And there's only one guy standing out on my board right now. He's from Wisconsin. I can't say his last name again. Damn it. Tyler Badass. I don't know. Biadaz. He's from Wisconsin. He's 6'3", 321. Josh, let me know if you approve of this pick. Interior offensive lineman. I think he's going to he grew up near Wisconsin.
Look, my uncle is the offensive line coach, so he would love that pick. I think if you can get him in the 3rd round like this, it's going to be a raw talent. It's going to be really.
And another reason I really like him, he was a captain for most of his time up in Wisconsin. Yes. I think that's a leader that'll stand out.
You want a leader. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a great pick. Tyler
Biadaz. I'm not seeing him.
Biadaz. I can't say his last name.
He was way down there. I think he was pick number 125.
Yeah, he's way down there. It's a bit of a reach for the Vikings, but if you need to build up on the inside for Kirk Cousins, it's worth it.
Yes, totally.
That's a lot of money you need to protect.
Kirk is not mobile.
Yeah, that's a lot of money you need to protect.
Yes, totally.
Okay. Positions of need for the Houston Texans right now are interior O-line, offensive tackle, and cornerback.
Can you draft a head coach?
You can't do that.
He's the GM also.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So you can't do that. Listen, for me, I think that there's an obvious pick here. You're going to hate it, but I love it. And knowing how the Texans have tried to use their tight ends over the past few years, I think Bryson Hopkins here to help out Deshaun Watson is going to be that target to help him out there with Fuller and Cooks.
That's a good area to go. That's a good area to go for him. Honestly, I'm fine with that. Late 3rd round, that's fine.
Because he's not a run blocker. He's a pass catcher. So I think
he's going to have to become some type of run blocker, though.
Last big pick for the Raiders here.
Yeah. So for me, for the Raiders, I'm trying to think of where I want to go. They're still pretty solid on the offensive line.
Yeah.
I can't recall who their safeties are.
I would think
they have
but
Jonathan Adams, who's going to be playing for the first time after missing the past season, the Mississippi State kid, and they paired him up with
Corey Littleton's a linebacker, right?
Yeah. Keanu Neal plays for the Falcons, yes. The Raiders have a safety. One sec.
All right, so I think I'm going to go then with the highest graded cornerback here in Cameron Dantzler from Mississippi State. I think even if he's not a first-year starter, you're going to need corners. You need corners on your team that can play. So I'm going to take Cameron Dantzler here out of Mississippi State.
I almost took him with the previous pick.
Yeah.
And so, Tanner, Keanu Neal is now with the Falcons.
He is? Okay.
He got drafted by the Falcons. The Raiders have a safety who is a thumper, I think, out of Florida. I'm going to figure that out real quick.
All right. Well, I guess heading up to me. Is this me?
Yes, sir.
All right. He's right up there at top of the board. No relation to Randy Moss, at least as far as I know. He's a senior from Utah. Zach Moss, running back. I think it's going to be a nice addition to the Ravens there. It just adds depth.
Out of Utah.
And the Ravens don't need anything else but depth at this point, especially late in the draft. And actually after that, I would expect the Ravens to start racking up picks for the future.
So you must believe in Utah players a little bit there.
Well, yeah, I mean, to go to the Ravens, I'm not exactly rooting for the Ravens either. So, yeah.
Tennessee, 93 here. They still need an edge rusher. They still need an edge rusher real bad.
This is where
I'm actually going to do it. I think that Zuniga was, I'm not going to say better Jonathan Greenard has the bigger star potential here, but when he sucked and he wasn't doing anything and nobody was saying his name, Zuniga was there getting production in the trenches. So I think that I'm going to value that over his name here. I'm taking Jabari Zuniga out of Florida, his running mate.
All right. We got Green Bay.
Man, if Jonathan Greenard falls that far.
I was going to say I think Green Bay would take him. So with that just logical reasoning, as much as it pains me, I'm going to take Greenard out of Florida.
You really think they would take him? Because he is – I get he's the best player available, but –
I already clicked it, so yes. I do think they'd take him.
You can put him in between the Smith brothers, and then you have 3 dogs that can go after the quarterback if he's awake that day. Because that's the thing with Greenard, man. I don't know if he's going to be there. Cole,
I agree.
You get the Broncos again, their last pick of our mock draft.
Yeah, and actually, I do want to consult something real quick before I make this pick. No, I don't want Jalen Elliott because he's definitely a deep round pick. Tyler Johnson. Is he still available, Tyler Johnson, receiver?
He should be.
He is. So my top 2 picks here, I'll let you guys help me decide, is receiver Tyler Johnson, and my main reason for that is to replace Tim Patrick as a true slot receiver. The guy is only 6'2", 205, but he's really quick, and he can break up coverages like no tomorrow. Great receiver out of Minnesota. My other pick that I really like, if my computer will work here, there it goes, is where did he go? Kevon Wallace from Clemson. Obviously, he's a good safety. He can help Justin Simmons. He's only 5'11", 199, but that's obviously can change. I don't like him because he's not a heavy hitter. And I don't know. With that said, and those 2 picks in mind, who do you guys think the Broncos should take?
With that in mind, I think you go with the defensive back to help you out because you don't know how much longer Kareem Jackson's going to be around. But my input here is that I think that a corner is also going to be something that needs to be addressed by the 3rd round because, yes, you have A.J. Boye, but you also have Bryce Callahan, who is going to be inconsistent. And then you have Isaac Yiadom, you got A.J. Bosby. I'm not liking the cornerback situation for the Broncos, but
I actually really liked Troy Pride Jr. for a cornerback. I watched him out of Notre Dame, and he caught my eye. I'm not gonna lie.
That was gonna be my input there as well because although Darnay Holmes had a lot of hype coming out of high school,
I don't trust UCLA guys. I'm sorry.
UCLA's been a terrible with. How bad
I like Kevon Wallace because I like what I saw with Clemson when they were in the playoffs. They were really dominant still, and I still think they were one of the better teams in college football, and I think he played a really big piece of that. That's why I think the Broncos would favor him as a defensive back.
It's your call. It's your choice. It's your choice.
With that said, the Broncos are going to go ahead and take the top – out of all those defensive backs we talked about, I think the Broncos would take the top one ranked, which is Kevon Wallace from Clemson, safety.
Cool. I like that pick. I have no qualms with that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I am the Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions. I need an interior O-lineman, but not really. I need somebody in the middle of my defense that I can trust to be there and be consistent. So I'm going to go with Evan Weaver out of California, the top off-ball linebacker on the board right now, and hope that he can just kind of be that tackling force in the middle to be something there to build around.
Cool. Evan Weaver.
Okay. Evan Weaver from California, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So I'm the Browns, and they beefed up their O-line quite a bit.
And they got a safety in their previous pick. The small school kid. Ruggins.
Yeah. Who is their cornerback they took last season? Ward. Denzel Ward?
Greedy. Denzel Ward was 2 years ago. Greedy Williams was last year. Denzel Ward was the Bradley Chubb draft, and then Greedy Williams in the year after.
And he's a corner?
Yes.
See, I don't even know who that is.
Greedy Williams out of LSU. Top 10 pick.
Seriously, if I were the Browns, I would seriously consider Antonio Gibson from Memphis.
But they have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I don't think a running back is what you need for the.
I just don't think they would take him.
I even think the Broncos will consider a running back eventually.
You know what? I'm actually going to take Jordan Elliott, interior defensive lineman from Missouri. I think he can really, really complement the smashing hit of Myles Garrett. So I think they'll be able to help each other out. Even though he's in the middle, I think if you can get a solid middle rush, that helps the edge rush so much. Look at how Derek Wolfe has helped either Bradley Chubb or Von Miller over the last couple of years.
Linemen in general from Missouri are just the best.
Them boys eat, man. They eat a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right, I guess that leaves up to me with the Patriots. Man, Patriots, they got a brand new quarterback, Jake Fromm, man. That's actually kind of exciting. I really like that. Makes me almost worried a little bit, and I think they're going to want a weapon, which obviously puts my mind towards a receiver. I don't think Bill Belichick's going to want any receiver, though. He's going to want someone big, probably the biggest guy left on the board, who's 6'3", South Carolina, Bryan Edwards. Probably the most fluid, dynamic, he can put anywhere on the field kind of player. I think he fits really well in a Bill Belichick system. Whether or not that USC talent can transfer over to that hard-nosed Bill Belichick coaching, we will see. But Bryan Edwards, receiver, I think is a nice weapon for the Patriots there.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to stay on that trend here, running receivers, because we've talked about all draft how the Giants need a weapon, and we have gone defense for them time and time again. So I'm going to go with a weapon to help him out here. Now, see, the pick that I would reach on here as a Giants would be Duvernay out of Texas, because he had a flying 40 time and I'm a speed guy, but speed is a luxury after you get somebody that can run routes and go up and get it. So I think that the best receiver right now that's going to be left is going to be KJ Hill, and that is Daniel Jones' new best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So Patriots, back to Patriots. Man, I just don't know what Belichick wants.
Nobody does. It's not your problem.
Honestly, I think there's one guy. Well, I'm actually kind of looking at Hunter Bryant out of Washington for a tight end. I think they lost what's his name from last season out of retirement. Not.
I know.
What
Dwayne Allen?
Well, yes. There was another guy that they brought. His name's escaping me. He's played for the Patriots a couple times, and he got drafted in like 2003. He's like 39 years old.
I got nothing on my end.
Anyway, they need a tight end. I'm going to go with Hunter Bryant out of Washington.
Not the fast one. Okay.
No. Look, Belichick is more about sound fundamentals, and Gronk's not even the fastest dude in the world. He's not. He overpowered people. I think that one just stood out to me.
Cole, 101.
All right. I think the Seahawks are going to go with the guy that they most likely have been keeping an eye on quite a bit. He's rather quick. He fits in a Seahawks system. He's from UCLA, 5'10", 192 pounds. Defensive back, Darnay Holmes.
5-star recruit coming out of high school. Just was a part of the dumpster fire that was UCLA, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I
would go running back, man. James Conner gets injured a lot.
He does, but I don't think that they're going to prioritize a running back this early. I think the Steelers are defensive-minded. They're grinders, man.
For sure. I agree. And I've been a fan my whole life. They're still running at
3-4, right?
Yep, under Tomlin, yeah.
So I don't think they have a good nose tech.
No, they could use more.
I think this is going to be where Lucky Fotu goes, because I don't know why you don't like him, Cole. He's obviously not going to get a whole bunch of sacks, but he's going to stand his ground on the point of attack. He's going to consistently do that time and time again. I think that's what you want from a Steelers defensive tackle.
You're going to go with Lekai?
Lucky Fotu.
I mean, I don't like him because I feel like it's just another Garrett Bowles thing. It's athleticism over actual football talent.
No, he's got football talent, man. I think that for a big guy that is as strong as he is, he's got some pretty good hand techniques, or he's got pretty good hand placement when he's trying to shed blocks in the run game. So I think that he could be effective there for the Steelers. And you're in a division with the Ravens, who's going to run the ball a lot.
All right.
So now for the Eagles, I still kind of want to protect Wentz. So I think I'm just going to straight up go with Matthew Pert out of UConn. I don't think he's going to be a starter, but literally with O-line, you cannot have enough depth. So that's my depth draft right there.
I agree.
Good stuff. Cole, your last pick of the draft, our draft.
Man, this is a really easy one. The Rams, they need defensive help, and that's where they're going to be sticking around the entire draft. They've only drafted one receiver this entire time, and they're going to stick with that. His name's right there. It's pretty easy to pronounce this time. Redshirt senior, 6'4", 242 pounds, out of Charlotte, Alex Highsmith. Edge rusher, I think he's a fantastic fit there in L.A. Separation skills are really great. He's got a big body that's going to really pair well with Aaron Donald, and he's going to replace Dante Fowler, who they just lost to the Falcons.
Yep, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that as well. So I am now the Minnesota Vikings, and the last thing that the Vikings need here is help with their offensive line because, good Lord, it was ugly at times. I think Sadiq Charles out of LSU will look good in the purple because he looks good in purple already, and he will bring a winning mentality to that offensive line.
Big fan. So for the last pick in the third round, for the Ravens, who did they lose at safety? He just retired.
It wasn't
Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle.
Yep, Eric
Weddle, yes.
They let Eric Weddle go, and he just decided to retire after that. So I'm looking, and right now it's between Alohi Gilman or Terrell Burgess.
Terrell Burgess, I think.
Terrell Burgess?
I think it's Terrell.
So, you know what? I'm gonna go with Burgess on this. I think he has.
But he's from Utah.
I don't mind that.
I know.
I don't mind that. I'm gonna go with Burgess. I think his
Garrett Bowles ruined it for everybody, man.
He did. I agree with that.
All right, so who were our last two picks then? Minnesota, we drafted who?
Minnesota, we drafted Sadiq Charles, offensive tackle out of LSU. And for 106, the Ravens, we took Terrell Burgess, safety out of Utah, which concludes rounds 2 and 3 of the Weekdays with Josh and Cole 2020 NFL mock draft with guest TannerFreeze. That's me. Gentlemen, thank you very much for participating. I had a lot of fun doing this with you guys.
Dude, this is awesome. This is something I love to do. Obviously, we're all passionate about sports and everything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I want to see how many we have correct. I think for the most part, especially in the first round, we had some really good educated guesses. I went out on a limb a few times. I'm fine with that. I like making those types of predictions.
Same.
I'm excited, man. This is going to be really fun to watch.
I like that we followed our hearts a little bit. I like that we played some favoritism a little bit. And I like that we also discussed trades because obviously we can't get too in-depth with trades. We don't know how that's going to go.
Messy mocking with trades.
For 3 hours discussing just one pick. So I think ultimately it's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope Justin Herbert goes to Miami over to Tagovailoa.
You guys owe me a beer if that happens.
Dude, I totally will buy you a beer if that happens. Totally.
For sure.
All right, that's going to conclude it for our recording here. I will kill the recording, guys. Thank you if you've made it this far in the recording, you are a stud. And we will follow our Twitters, actually, to hear our inputs on the actual draft night. That will be at TannerFreeze, at Joshua Owen, or at
I'm Joshua Owen.
There you go. And what's yours, Cole? Smitty Smith?
At Cole Smitty Smith.
There we go. So follow all those if you made it this far, and we'll catch you later.